Welcome to the English with Kirsty podcast from www.englishwithkirsty.com. Here I'll be sharing with you tips, information and other learning resources so that you can improve your business English. And welcome to episode 213 of the English with Kirsty podcast. And I have another guest here. I'm excited to talk to her, and it's someone whose name I'm not too scared to pronounce. So welcome, Leanna. It's good to have you here. Is that right?
Yes, Leanna.
Good. Sometimes I just make people introduce themselves because I don't want to destroy their name. But your name is okay for me. That's fine. So welcome. It's good to have you here on the podcast. And we met through LinkedIn, didn't we? You messaged me on LinkedIn.
Yes, I saw maybe someone either reposted your post about talking to language teachers, and I was like, I'm really interested in doing this again. So I sent you a message in the post.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did, because this LinkedIn is the place where it's all happening for me at the moment, meeting lots of interesting people with interesting stories. And as we started to get to know each other and you posted some comments on my other posts, I discovered that you are you're interested in learning new things, new languages, as an adult. So not just the ones that you learned at school, because I know you speak Spanish as well, don't you?
Yes.
And I guess that started when you were younger at school. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I started Spanish as the language requirement at my high school, and I wanted to continue on with it as a major in college. However, I also wanted to learn Mandarin Chinese.
Wow.
And so when I started my freshman year, I was taking Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. And at the time, it was too hard for me to do both.
Yeah.
I decided to switch to being a Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin major, and double majored in international studies. But I also wanted to continue my Spanish, so I strengthened both my Mandarin and Spanish.
That's really cool. So can you use them both now? Do you use them both now?
Yes. I didn't quite
reading
know. I didn't quite know where I wanted to go with it at the time, but now that I became a ESOL teacher, I use it with helping my students understand like a grammar concept or a vocabulary word, and so it's been really helpful with my ESOL students.
Yeah, and I think that really helps. I don't speak Spanish, but I do the same with German, and now I'm starting to do it with Romanian as well. And sometimes, because it's really important that the student understands what they're doing. And I think especially with beginners, it's nice to have that bridge language that you can use another language to explain things and then do the exercises in English. But if the person doesn't understand what they're doing, how can they can learn that one thing is right and another thing is wrong? But if they don't know why, then yeah, it's not going to help in the future, right? I don't think so.
Yes.
It's good. So what about more recently then? You've got some, because you've recently started a couple more languages. How did that happen? And how did you do it? How did you find courses or resources to help you?
Yes. So after I learned Spanish and Mandarin, I got this idea I wanted to become a polyglot. And so I was like, I need more languages, but I kind of want to learn all of them, but of course, it's very difficult to do so. So the one I started next was actually Haitian Creole. And there was two reasons for that one. My husband is from Haiti. However, he has forgotten.
You can teach him.
So I'm learning it even though I don't have him to speak with. And I started it because it was a new program on Duolingo. I used to use Duolingo just for like extra help and practice. And so I said, oh, I could try it with Duolingo since it's their new language that they rolled out with. So I've learned a lot of phrases and sentences through Duolingo with that one. And also because I think people know there's sometimes a little gap between Duolingo and learning the language. So I would also use YouTube
Mm.
courses and videos to help explain a grammar topic or learn more vocabulary.
Yeah, Duolingo is good for vocabulary, but sometimes, particularly with some of the um, maybe the languages with fewer subscribers or the newer courses, I don't know what it is, but I've started various courses on there, and sometimes the explanations are a bit lacking, or sometimes they're not there at all. So whilst it's good for learning phrases and words, sometimes you have to do a bit of your own research on why is it like that. I think that's what we were saying before. Like if you don't know why, then you'll probably get the next one wrong as well, because you didn't understand the rules, the way the language works. I mean, is that similar to any languages that you speak? I don't know which family it's from. I have no idea.
It is actually closer to French.
Okay.
And I think I wanted to learn French, but that is to me a very difficult language for me to learn by myself. If I do French, I would have to pay for a class or a tutor because I don't understand the sounds. But the sounds are similar in Haitian Creole, but not as it's easier to pronounce and the grammar is a little simpler.
Okay.
So it was a little easier to do than French.
So you had that going on, and then you took another two. So how did that develop the interest in learning two more?
I the next language I wanted to do was American Sign Language. Over the years I've started but never got too far with it. And one day I decided I want to improve this one as well. So what I use is there's a website and a professor, his name is Bill Vickers, and he is a professor of ASL, and he also has a YouTube channel. So I started watching his YouTube videos for vocabulary, grammar, how to structure the sentences. And I found out that he also has a website. So I've been using his YouTube channel and his website to learn American Sign Language. And the reason for me learning that one was because I feel like it's important to know that to be helpful in my community, and if there's someone who needed a translator and no one else knew American Sign Language, that I would know at least a little bit to be helpful.
Mm-hmm. And does that go like both ways? Is it you're watching the content and reading the information, or if you have a question, can you ask, or is there a community where you can get answers? Or
I have not joined a community. I think I may have put American Sign Language at the bottom of my learning. So as of right now, I'm just doing his YouTube channel, but I would really like to know more and join other things to learn more. However, I did read a couple books that were written by deaf authors, and I got a better understanding of the community through reading those books on they were fiction stories, but I learned a lot about the community.
yeah, and I think that's always good to read books by people rather than books where people are talking about people. Like you're not finding out directly from people about their own experiences is always better than people talking about other people's experience secondhand. So I think that's a good way to do it. But that's also another point that we were just talking before we started recording the podcast, and I was talking about my maybe questionable decision to start two new languages at the same time, and how for me at least there's always one thing that gets my attention and gets my enthusiasm, and then that's fine if you're only doing that thing. But then if you want to do more things, it takes a bit more discipline. For me, the discipline isn't to do the learning, it's to share out my time and energy if I've got more than one thing that I want to do. How do you manage that? Because I know you've got the two that you mentioned, and then you started which is your third language?
The third one is Korean.
Yeah, very different things.
Yeah, I'm a little all over the place.
It's never boring. That's good.
So I when I was starting this interest in being a polyglot, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on what people suggest is the best way to learn more than one language at a time. And so they say like a little goes a long way. And if you dedicate at least like one day for this language, this and another day for this language,
No, that's interesting.
and work on the one that you're more interested in now, give that one more time, but also just try to fit in those other ones, just a little bit of your time a day.
Yeah, maybe I should do that because I don't find it difficult to find time for the one that I really want to progress with fast. And, I just build that into my day. But yeah, then I was thinking, well, I decided to learn this other one because I wanted to do it. It's just doing it even when you don't feel like doing it sometimes is a good thing. If you want to see the results, if you want to learn, then doesn't matter how you feel. If you feel really enthused, then you're going to get it done faster, or you're going to get more done. But do it anyway, even on the days when you feel I've got no energy for this.
Yes. And I try, and as I do think Duolingo is good for that they've figured out how to kind of make you feel bad if you haven't practiced.
They will remind you. It depends which character sends the message. Some are like really encouraging. Come on, you can do this. The other ones are, well, I don't care if you don't do it. It's not my problem. It's your problem if you don't. So it's funny how they've got these different personalities going. But the positive one motivates me more, to be fair. But yeah, different people, different styles.
I put the widget on my cell phone the other day, and so now I see that the bird will start crying if getting close to you not doing it, and then if you're really close to not doing the day, it's like this big fiery red bird on my screen. So that has actually been helpful for me too. Hey, you didn't do this today.
And so do you do both of them? Are they both on Duolingo or only?
The one Duolingo I use
Oh,
for Haitian Creole, and now I started the Korean course on there as well.
they
Just
have a
after
Korean
my
course,
other
okay.
course finished, I now practice so I don't forget anything that I learned with that one for right now.
And your other course, like, so the first Korean course, was that something you did independently, or was it part of a group, or?
It was through, is it Coursera or Coursera? I've heard both.
I've heard both. I've heard Coursera more, but I don't know.
And I was just looking for courses to do, and I saw Korean, and I remember I have two Korean students, and I want to learn the languages of the students that I have so that I can be more helpful, or to show, I also do it to show like that I understand your struggle, and you are learning my native language. I would like to know a little bit more of yours. I want there to be like a mutual connection that way as well. And now that I've learned the alphabet in Korean, I have a better understanding of the sounds that aren't in Korean that are in English, and the reasons why a Korean student may say something a certain way. So I've found it very beneficial to now know the reasons why there's no F sound in Korean. So if there's an F sound in English, they tend to put a P sound there. So now I'm able to understand the reasons why that happens.
Yeah, and I think the more you get into language, I think that works both ways. Like in some ways, I think it can help you to explain things. So one of my students made a mistake the other day, and I understood straight away why she said that, because that would make sense in Romanian. That's how you would say it in Romanian. And sometimes as a teacher, I think, yeah, that's nice because you can understand the interference from the other language more. But also, I think if people know that you're taking the time to learn, I think it can make you a better teacher, because especially at the beginning, you're back at that point where you can't really express yourself as you'd like to, or you maybe don't know how to be yourself as you would normally, because you don't have the vocabulary yet, or the complexity of ideas. You know, it's what you would normally say is more complex than what you can say at the moment. So all these things, they remind you how some of your students may be feeling, and it makes you able to relate to their experience more. And I think that helps to build good communication between teacher and student.
I think so. I agree with that. I've realized that working with my students, that they are uh, very happy to talk about their language, their home country, and I want to show my respect and interest in their background as well through learning languages.
Yeah, you learn. I mean, I learn something every day just by talking to people. And of course, I'm here to do a job, and the idea is that other people learn English from me, and they do. But it's also really interesting for me to learn about other cultures and traditions and languages and food. Food always comes up, you know, like. But yeah, it's one of the things I really love about my job, I guess, the fact that you can learn so much about other people and other parts of the world.
And
And carry on.
it's also better learning from someone rather than from a book or a magazine or things. It's lovely to hear it from people who are from that culture rather than me reading an article about a different place. I enjoy our conversations with my students.
Yeah, because when I think about some of the things that are written about the UK, even I think, well, that's not true. We don't do that. Maybe we did that 50 years ago, but we don't do that now. And yeah, it's first-hand experience is good. And I think it also, whether it's for students or with me, it tends to be friends. I have one or two friends at the beginning, and then I make a lot more, because I need contact with people. I don't want it just to be an academic exercise to learn a language. I like people, I like talking, so I need to find people who speak the language. But I think that also helps you to stay motivated, because you have a reason. There are people that you can talk with, and they know that you're learning, and so it's a bit of accountability as well. So in terms of you teaching, you have a new project, your website and your blog. Maybe you could tell us something about those.
Yes. So back in the pandemic 2020, I lost my position there. And so I was trying to figure out what I could do um to make money, of course. And so actually um I had a language exchange partner, and we're still friends to this day. My Spanish exchange partner, he's in Spain, and he is a teacher as well. So he encouraged me. He said, "Why don't you become a ESOL teacher?" And so I looked into it and got my TESOL certificate and started my Learning with Leanna company, and I use that for ESOL and also private tutoring for other things, academics, and the beginning of Spanish and Mandarin for students. And at the time, my friend Diksha Aurora and her company Design Delights, we were creating my website. And unfortunately, I was on another website to find students, and I got like 2 or 3 students the first week, and then within 2 weeks I had like 25, 30 students.
Wow, that's really good.
Yes. I was not expecting it to happen that fast.
That is very fast. Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know how it exploded, and I couldn't accept any more students, so I kind of had to put the website on pause. And now, because I have a lot of students and I'm good with the amount of students that I have, I contacted her again and I said, "Hey, can we turn the website into more so of a blog rather than finding students?" And she said, yeah, so we've been working on it and it is almost ready to be published. It would be www.learningwithleanna.com. However, we have to wait for it to publish, and I want to turn it into a learning, educational blog for academics as well as language learning.
Okay, so when the website is ready, it's not at the time that we're recording it. So when it's ready, I will add the link to the show notes page as well, because I think it'll be good to come and visit, to find out what kind of articles have you written any yet, or what kind of topics do you want to look at on the blog?
Yes, I've started a couple blog posts, and what I would like to focus on is helping others learn multiple languages as well, from all the things that I've read, and good study tips and how to learn which language and things like that. And also my other passion definitely is reading literacy. As the private tutor side of things, I helped kids who were below level of their reading. And I've helped a lot of students improve their reading. I've helped a lot of students learn from the alphabet and got their reading level up past their grade level. So that's another topic that's really dear to me, is literacy.
Okay, well, I look forward to subscribing and reading your blog once it's ready. And as I said, I'll add the links to this page when they're ready. And thank you for your time today. It's been really good chatting to you and finding other people who are doing the same kind of thing, even though our language pairs there's no crossover at all. But the idea of learning multiple languages as an adult is fascinating to me. I didn't set out to go on this kind of journey. I thought I was happy with just German, and then Romanian came, and then Portuguese came, and then maybe Italian, and then so I ended up on this path that I didn't really plan to go down. But it's nice to know other people that are doing the same, because then we can share experiences and tips, and I think that's really positive. So thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on the podcast, and good luck with your new project.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the English with Kirsty podcast. If you have any questions or comments, my email address is kirsty@englishwithkirsty.com, or you can go to www.englishwithkirsty.com/podcast, where you'll find information about the individual episodes.